This is BleedTV, the only podcast for today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
And I'm Cash.
And we're down a man. Unfortunately, Jake was not able to join us tonight. His sweet wife had a work emergency, and so he had to stick around with the old kiddos. But he sends his best and positive comments for this week, which is
very surprising.
Yeah, because last week, he kind of stunned us that felt like some things are boring. But as he put it in synopsis of this episode, explains a lot that makes a lot of things better compared to the last episodes, thus making it move forward a lot stronger, which I concur.
I mean, it gave us the background and it gave us the character development that we crave for in any show that we watch.
Right, exactly. I mean, this episode did a fantastic job of answering the questions of why Galindo was kind of cheeseball or weak. It answered the questions about how the inner workings of the Mayans are doing.
Mm-hmm.
It answered the questions about relationships with other groups, and it showed some other connect. I mean, like, it did a really good job of putting all the cards on the table.
It did a really good job Tarantinoing it, going backwards in time. But it also built off of the last episode with its characters and everything.
It really did, and so I really enjoyed it. The only thing, a couple questions. The title, of course.
Yes, I was getting ready to do that because
what have we got? Buho Muwan?
Buho Muwan. Feel free to attack us on Twitter at BleedTV Podcast if we are butchering these any worse than we could.
Absolutely. If you know representation of what we're doing wrong, please let us know.
I promise this won't be the first thing that we ever mispronounce. Or the last. If you've listened to any of our podcasts.
Remember, we're from Mississippi.
Yes.
And so it's just inherently natural for us to make things sound garbage.
It's what we do best.
Or slang or slow burst or whatever you want to call it.
But Buho and Muwan.
Yeah. Yep. Now, how about this intro? Number one, I'm tired of the effing CG animals, cephalopods, like that. This owl. Why? Why?
I couldn't tell you. And not only was the owl itself bad, but the eyes were like...
Oh, it was like something so pungent on the screen. I mean, I felt like I was being slapped.
I was being slapped. That owl came out. I was wearing 3D glasses, and I'm telling you, this owl flew out of my TV and attacked me.
I could just hear Jake just talking about how disgusting it was.
That's what that scream was last night. It was Jake yelling. Now it's all making sense.
It was just... Luckily, they followed it up with some really cool Hummer trucks.
Yes,
that were just flying through the desert.
And was that front truck a Hummer, without the?
The Hummer. There was like a couple Hummers, and then there was a Hummer truck. I think.
That thing looked phenomenal. I was like, I immediately want to go buy this. And
it was cool, man. I thought that was neat. I thought it was a little awkward, to be like, golly, they already know where Adelita and all them are. He had some intel and the GPS.
Do we know how we got this intel?
Well, he just says intel, so I'm guessing that based on the outcome is that they were going to where this pinata was.
Yes.
I was assuming the intel was from somebody who Adelita was associated with, and this was all just a ruse.
I'm assuming it was the food truck guy and his son. Not necessarily his son, but the food truck guy.
I'm not so concerned. I don't think so.
Because, we tortured him and we burned him.
I think the food truck thing was just to send a message.
Okay.
I think this was supposed to be some kind of new intel. And then that's the whole premise of this episode is that because that intel came up spades, is the reason they decided to collect all the street gangs and all the other people like that to try to do the whole, we're bonded now.
That makes sense and everything. Kind of become little birds and everything. Right, I need information.
It's just like, what was it? Who was it on Game of Thrones? Not Pycelle, but the other one.
No, it was the spider, Varys.
That had his little birdies everywhere. And so all this did was it showed him
kind of building that network and everything.
Yeah, building his nest of birds.
The only problem is that's essentially what the rebels are. So if you're telling me he's got the same thing that is essentially the rebels.
But you have to understand, the rebels are the children of victims of the cartel. They're not street gangs themselves. They're just rebels against organized crime, thus what the cartel is. And so picking up street gangs would not be a part of the rebellion. They're doing crime just as easily as they are.
You're just kind of absorbing them. Like you're an angel investor inside of them. And like you're just, you're coming to work for me.
So to me, it's a genius move.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, and honestly, that fits Galindo a lot more than anything else because that's business 101.
Exactly. Exactly. Know who your clientele is. Know what your sources are. Where your information is.
Okay.
Get a new fresh perspective on possible intel. The whole 9 yards.
Okay. I'm liking this move a lot more now that we're kind of talking through it with it a little bit more. Because when I was initially looking, I was like, man, this really feels like you're just going to get infiltrated. This is the rebels. You're inviting them in. But as soon as you say gangs and everything, I'm like, this is making a lot more.
This is where it's at. And so. Again, and of course at the very ending when the kid shows that he's got the cut across his hand, and it's that huge aha moment that, in which I saw that kind of coming. It was just really random that the kid was just sitting right there the whole time and so on, and they were so eager to make it where he could join and stuff. And I was like, eventually you have to have the chink in the armor. You have to show that, a moment of weakness leads to a bad decision, and having this kid could be that moment of weakness. And so I like that. Of course, it just creates that drama. You can't always be undetected.
No.
And everything. So I thought that was good. Just wrapping up the whole Adelita and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a huge fan of when you see Emily and his mother-in-law come into where the square is. And walk by.
You're not buying her disguise or anything?
Nothing against the actress, but she sticks out like a sore thumb.
A blonde hair, blue-eyed,
a pale beauty? Complexion.
Yeah. Doesn't say she sticks out in Mexico?
That's completely not natural. It doesn't help that you roll up into a $120,000 Cadillac Escalade,
tinted out, completely blacked out. They won't know who I am, I promise, or anything. This Captain America Marvel disguise is going to completely hide me.
Give me a break.
At least his mom came out with the headdress and everything, completely wrapped, big coat. She's instead of khaki tight jeans, she's in blue jeans.
So I just, and so to me, when she's walking around, I thought the show missed on the opportunity of having somebody kind of look at her strangely, or she's out of place, and they never did that. And her disguise got less and less as she's walking around the camera.
She kept taking it off, and I was like, "What are you doing? How do you meet? Everyone knows who you are. There's no way no one doesn't know what." And
then the driver's like, "Stay within eyesight." They were not.
No, they were gone immediately.
Yeah, deuces, you're fired.
Yeah, it was like, no, don't worry, we'll be inside.
I got news for you. If I'm that guy and I work for the cartel, she don't get out of my sight.
No,
I don't care what's going on.
Your job is to make sure she doesn't get kidnapped or anything.
Otherwise, I'll be the next body on the concrete. But
also, I don't know why they were worried about her going out there. If they wanted to kidnap her or have her in any shape, way, or form, they would have just kept her.
This is a good point.
So, she was in my opinion, danger at any point in time going around.
But you also have to look at this too, is that now that he's retaliated, you don't know what their next step is.
Still, you knew he was probably going to retaliate at some point. You want as much ammo as possible.
But you weren't expecting for anybody to be caught because you thought you had produced a video that was no tells, but unfortunately it did.
Yes, fair point. And like you said, the video was the real tell because you could hear that in the background and everything. It was just, to me, a retaliation wasn't going to bring her life into more danger if they could have already just killed her, kidnapped her. And you still got the son. Having her isn't... If he's willing to sacrifice his son, to me, he's willing to sacrifice his wife. I'm not married.
I don't think he's willing to sacrifice his son. I think he acted on pressure from an advisor.
Okay.
And that's the reason at the end of, when you see him apologize and start crying, because we realize that this is not who he was meant to be. Even the mother explains that, we were trying to make it where he was not part of this life. He doesn't have to be that guy.
And now that we have the mother in this and everything, and the advisor, do you think they're trying to make a play to become the head of the cartel?
No. I don't think so at all.
You don't think so?
No. I think it's just meant to be represented by a Galindo male. And that's just the way it is.
That's fair.
That's what it's supposed to be. And since he is the heir, that's the reality of it.
I can very well see that and everything. It's just some of the things that the mother's doing, how she's wording things, it feels undertone-ish.
Right.
Yeah,
yes and no. And I know what you mean by that.
And maybe because she's just a great actress. And I feel like she's doing better than everybody else on the show, along with the advisor. with the way they're talking and everything.
Well, they fit the part.
They do.
They fit the part well. It's a quality casting, good writing on those situations and stuff like that. So I agree with that. And now that Galindo is kind of opened up and you understand what his rationale, motivations, and what his internal struggles are, and to see that he is basically just like anybody else who has a moral compass, that, these decisions are weighing heavy on him.
Yes.
And the only reason he's acting out is because his son is missing. And so that... it is what it is. You know what I mean? So, to me, that I thought the Galindo part, the cartel part, and all that stuff was right on point.
And so how do you feel when we had the I forgot the name of those little baby skulls inside the pinata?
Man, don't.
But I mean, that was like a pretty harrowing moment to me, almost.
Yeah.
Just because like those are a huge representation in Mexican culture. Day of the Dead and everything.
Correct.
You have all those bright colors saying we're celebrating you. You're not lost and everything. And to find it in a piñata, which is at every little kid's birthday party, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Again, that was great. And there was tons of really good tweets.
The Katrina skull is what they're called and everything.
I love all the tweets that were blowing up on Twitter last night about that skull and all, like, oh my God, you're going to have the cartel. You don't make them mad. Make sure there's no candy in there and all this kind of stuff. There was some good stuff last night. But let's shift gears and go to, because it's kind of broken in three parts. Let's talk about Pops.
Okay.
All right. So Pops this was probably his biggest episode so far.
Yep.
We're at the store. We're doing.
I like that where he's slowly getting more screen time and everything.
Absolutely, phenomenal actor. I love this like that, and I love that they show the subtle things. Like you see the van, you see the car come in and replace the van.
You see him lingering on it, making sure there's like, okay, I can work everything in here without paying attention. But these vehicles, they're catching my eye and everything.
DA comes in, they're wanting updates. He's like, he's doing his part. Kiss my ass. Yep. There was a card. All right, so evidently you could call this number.
Yes. Well, so if anyone who doesn't know, 99.8% of movie and TV show phone numbers are always going to start with a 555 because that means it's a fake number. They don't have to get it registered. They don't have to worry about anything. Right. So any show or movie that doesn't use 555, that's a real phone number that you can always contact.
Well, the Mayans FX on Twitter popped up and said, "Give the number a call. You might enjoy it."
Ooh,
and so on.
So did you give it a call?
I tried, and I got it was busy. So I'm guessing, the other million people who watched it maybe decided to do it at the same time I was.
Yeah, so you're telling me there was a chance that the most popular TV show had a phone number flooded?
So if somebody did it out there, send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, or something like that, and tell us what was your experience with the phone number.
Give us if you can record it, go ahead and do that for us, and we'll tweet it out there for you. Feel free to tag in everything.
Absolutely. So again, he sees the car, tells DA to take a hike, whatever you call it. He goes home, he does the trash can, realizes he's got a car on him. He goes for his toolbox. His toolbox has got a pretty sawed-off double barrel.
Oh my God, this thing was gorgeous. And I love that that's what he's rocking.
Yeah. Like completely illegal firearm.
Oh, 100%.
He's staring at an officer, and with an illegal firearm. This guy could arrest him right there on the spot.
But there's no way you're going to.
Right, exactly. Because you take him out, then you lose your connection, the whole 9 yards.
Well, not only that, you're not getting out of that neighborhood. That's a life and death decision that you're making. Do I really want to die over arresting him for this illegal firearm?
Right.
Answer's no.
All right. How about the pennies being thrown at the car? This guy's reaction to it kind of stuns me a little bit. I got news for you. If I'm in my car and you hear dink, 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 hitting my tire, I don't hop out of the car with my heater strapped.
No.
That heater's out, son.
His safety's off, and I know that there's one in the chamber ready to go.
It's itching real fast.
I like that he picked the heads up penny, because there was one tails.
Yeah. Of course, the good luck penny. And so he lifts up to that good luck of having double barrel staring in his face. So we retract that good luck you were talking about.
It wasn't pulled. So, that there was some good luck in it and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
But I love this scene and everything. I love him, being able to drop big cojones. You're going to get my son killed and everything. I don't need any watchdog. I've got everything that I need.
Yeah. And he's like, I see that, no doubt.
We'll call the tails off. Don't worry. I just want to be done with the DEA. I don't see what purpose that they're serving for the show.
I don't know, because you remember now, and I hate to reference Sons of Anarchy, the last time they were dealing with somebody who could possibly be a snitch and so on, we had probably the greatest ending in Sons of Anarchy history of that season.
Yes.
Okay, to me, it is still considered one of the best episodes of Sons of Anarchy. And I'm not going to give it away for somebody who hasn't seen it, but if you have not, wow. There's a female, I think she was the FBI or DEA, I can't remember.
FBI.
FBI agent, and what happens at the end, we've already heard everything, is woo! Wow.
Just A, why haven't you finished Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah,
and B,
exactly.
Just go finish Sons of Anarchy for us.
Amen.
But I don't see them bringing that level into Mayans.
Well, the DEA agent's not infused enough for it to get there yet.
No.
So if they
and maybe it's just and it's early, so
it's early.
Like obviously I can be swayed in everything, especially with how they're developing characters. It's just I want to see Easy go full on with Mayans and everything, and I think the DEA is kind of holding him back from that.
I agree.
And so maybe if they keep giving that push.
We also need Easy to get patched in for it to really get to that level.
Yes.
So I'm still waiting on that situation. When Pops is there, Easy comes in. He takes money he got from the casino. He throws it in this giant Stanford bag that's littered with cash. Mm-hmm. This made Twitter blow up about, is Easy skimming? No, to me, I think every dollar he gets, he's stashing it away
just so
for that getaway bag. When when his thing's over, he can get his life back. Purely think that's what this bag is. Do you know what the number one Twitter thing people was talking about last night?
How he drinks a beer.
How he drinks a damn beer.
Which, that's just ridiculous. Everyone has a different way that they hold a beer bottle.
Don't get me wrong.
It's weird.
I think it's different.
Yes. I'm not saying weird in a bad way.
What I was sitting there, when I watched it, I was kind of like, okay, so the camera is panning to straightforward, maybe slightly to his left side, right? Mm-hmm. But when he puts his arm up, it blocks his face as he puts the beer to his mouth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's definitely unique. To me, I thought he was just trying to show off his, masculinity with his veins and his forearms.
Well, absolutely.
I don't know.
Look, I went out, I had a beer and held it that way. Not that bad. Like,
but
you
was that what you consider natural?
No, not in the slightest. But it's definitely weird. I mean that in the best way possible. Find a way to be unique.
Obviously, if we have this much Twitter chatter about it, then other people felt it was off the mark.
So, let's go. How do you hold a beer?
Now, I will say there is someone that got on Twitter and said, "Hey, I've seen your other movies where you drink a beer, and you did the same way there too. So at least you're consistent."
I think that's how he just naturally drinks a bottle of beer.
Yeah, which is fine. If that's your style, roll with it. You know what I mean? It's just like the days back when I used to dance, man. I used to have a bottle up in the air and hold it up and we dance.
I don't know if we need to talk about those dances.
That's how you prevent big movements. You hold your beer in your hand high.
So you weren't one of the dice people or
anything? No, there was no sprinkler. There was no dice.
Just the one bottle over there, yeah.
And move around slowly because you move my big hips, people get hurt.
The building's coming down if you start trying to get down.
Jesus. Take that Shiite somewhere else. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that, I just think it's funny that was the highest topic of Twitter chat. Wait till he shows his ass one day. The Twitter might blow up.
Oh, Twitter's going to explode.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Yeah. While he's holding a beer. He's just going to drop one hand, the beer up in the other.
Bare ass and holding his beer the unique way. There you go.
That sounds like a regular college party now that we're talking about it.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the Mayans. Now, the Mayans decide that they're going to go to an Indian Territory casino in Las Vegas. I don't think it's not Vegas.
Okay, but
I think it's kind of intermediate between them.
Because my thought was on Twitter and everything. He kept saying that. Keep sending me to Vegas.
Well, they keep talking about Vegas is where the shipment needs to be delivered and where things are going and so on. And so this was a meeting of the prison officials that handle all the
going in with
what do you call it, the contraband exchange.
There we go. I was like, Jesus, why did we think of this word?
I know it. And these two slime balls, and then of course, the Chinese, they were worried about, product and shipments and getting stuff. And so their job was to settle this, have some negotiation power.
Well, they were the money. We had the prison guards, and then we had essentially the suppliers as the Mayans.
Right, and so they were taking care of all this. And during this situation, there were some cool things that happened, of course.
Well, I loved before we even head out to the Indian reservation, how we opened the door into the Mayan clubhouse. Yeah. That's one of the coolest things I've seen.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Because we have the little side door and everything slide open, then Angel makes the phone call, which I like that he's only using one phone. Because I don't think in this day and age you can really have that burner phone anymore.
Well, not when you're with a group of people all the time.
Exactly.
It'd be kind of a dead giveaway.
Whoa, Angel, what's that burner phone for?
Yeah, what you doing with that cricket over there, man?
What's that? No kid, you trying to murder somebody with that? Who you beating to death?
Anti-theft brick you got? But yeah, no, I'm with you.
I like that he's only using the one phone and everything, making the calls, and then we get Jimmy, and I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting character we haven't really known too much about. He's the head person for the Chinese. Mm-hmm. We get to the Indian reservation casino right there.
And, they give you the whole premise of we take your guns, we're going to have you a quiet room, the whole 9 yards.
It felt very Wild Wild West.
It kind of did because, his goons didn't quite match what I would expect if you're the head guy of an Indian casino.
No, not at all. Yeah.
One looked like, he's straight off a Texas ranch, and, the other one was just the complete opposite. So, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, when I at first I was like, it doesn't quite fit the mold I expected, but hey, whatever.
Like the Samoan club, that fit what I was expecting and everything.
Exactly. But anyway, casino, hey, he's like, we got a few hours, let's have some fun. And so Coco takes easy. He's counting cards, which I got news for you. They would have been spotted a mile away.
Yes.
When you have turned and looked and somebody's giving you nods.
They would
have been busted really quick.
Well, and you have Easy just sitting on the slots, not doing anything.
Yeah.
The other guys sitting at a blackjack table.
Every table is monitored by numerous cameras. The only reason, Cash and I and Jake, we all live within 30 minutes of the largest casino strip of all of Mississippi and most of the Mid-South.
I grew up in casinos my entire life, came from Vegas and everything.
And so let me tell you, what's going on this table would never,
not even close.
And if it was, you'd be in a back room with a hammer.
The only reason I think he's able to get away with this is just because the casino's cool losing a couple $100 to the Mayans. That's it.
Yeah. Well, you see Angel come up and he's like, cash him out. Because you're being disrespectful to your host.
Yes.
And so,
even though the host is always disrespectful because the casino tilts the odds in their favors, I digress.
All right, now, the next part.
But how about Coco being the one that could count cards?
Well, Coco couldn't. He was depending on Easy the whole time. And so when Easy got up, he's like,
we're done.
We're done. All right, the only part of the episode, minus the effing owl, that kind of bothered me, and to me, it was purely just to give you, it is the Walking Dead syndrome. I have a really cool scene, but I don't really care how I get to it, okay? And so the really cool scene is Easy dropping, a chip into his drink,
yes,
and then smoking him in the face, right? This one deadly punch. How did we get to that part? We randomly get a scene of Easy going to the bar so that he could be made fun of because he's in a biker group by local cops
who aren't on duty.
Who aren't on duty and drinking and all that stuff like that, to where, he gets punked. And just so we can get that next scene of him punching him.
Yeah, I didn't like this at all. Because
to me, I like that, yes, you're taking care of your business. Yes, you're the Mayans. Yes, you can do that. And here, you're not cops. I like some of the dialogue that came with it. But to me, it
was like you said, it was like, I really want to see Easy punch a cop, potentially get himself into more trouble, because this is going to come back and haunt him.
Right, because here's the deal. Then he punches him. He sees that we have a flashback of, hey, I'm a cop. And then you see the flash of him turning around and shooting somebody behind him, and it's a cop. And
so the last episode and everything, we were like, could this be a car crash? What was the situation where he killed a cop? Oh, he killed a cop because he was chasing after somebody.
Who was he chasing is the great question.
Yes.
He was also firing back at him.
and put him in that situation and everything.
I mean, we're Stafford bound.
You need a better lawyer,
college kid, just that someone who is chasing this guy like he has. It has to be. You know what I think is? Are you ready for this? This is my theory.
Okay, let's
you ready
hear
for this?
Yeah.
Like that? What have they shown us for 2 episodes? His mother is in an urn. I think the guy who he's chasing killed his mother.
Ooh.
He was chasing after him in anger. That's the reason it was a gunfight. Turned around and shot this officer by accident.
Okay.
That right there is the reason you get 6 years and you get a deal. Is because the reality of it is the only reason you had the gun is because you were chasing after someone who just killed your mother. Boom, there's my prediction right there.
I like it. I mean, that shows why you could get out, especially with that cop ending up being dirty. And it was, you murdered somebody. It wasn't in self-defense. But
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's going college, Stafford bound. He's good. All these guys, his whole life in front of him.
That was one of those things where it was a mistake and you still have to pay for it.
Right.
And
so what would cause him to go and chase somebody and get into a gunfight when you're...
Somebody broke into your house and killed your mom.
Yeah, or something. Or you're getting mugged or something. You know what I mean? I call it Batman syndrome. You know what I mean? Luckily you're just old enough to have the gun to go after the robber. So, I mean, that's what I'm getting at.
I like
so
it.
That's my theory.
I was thinking it's more angel related. And he was just able to break a lot of that anger and stuff while he was in prison.
Maybe. I just don't see a guy who's college bound, Stafford whole life ahead of chasing someone with the veracity that he was and willing to get into shooting bullets back and forth with somebody.
No, the mother theory holds a lot more water.
It's got to have something that makes you insanely angry to do that.
You got a lot of meat on that bone, and I'm liking it.
So there you go. Punch it down, guys. There's the theory of what we're trying to get. So I like that stuff, because when he punched the cop, he got the same kind of feeling and flashback. But the whole him going to the bar thing was like, you know what I mean?
Going to the bar, B, ordering a Miller Lite.
I feel like it was pushed.
It was very much pushed. I would have much preferred...
You noticed that all the people were behind him. I don't mean to cut you off, but look, you noticed the whole gang was behind him and heard the guy go, pussy. Yeah. Show a scene where they say, hey, prospect, go get me a beer.
Yeah, it was just like...
just that little bit, instead of him just suddenly showing up at a bar and having a conversation and people ragging him. You know what I mean? Like
give him a reason to go to the bar because I'm going to tell you, you don't really walk up to the bar at a casino. You have cocktail waitresses for that.
Right. So,
you've got people running back and forth. Unless you're gambling at the bar, you're not really going up to the bar because you drink for free.
A touch sprinkle of a reason why he's there other than just randomly having to be next to this guy. I don't know. It felt like that was the only... I mean, I tell you, that is minor.
That would have made a huge difference. Or if we would have just had one of those cops be able to speak Spanish...
Like, I understand you.
Yeah.
MMF and...
Exactly, and everything. That changes the whole dynamic of it as well.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, so you think I'm a pussy now or everything, or I'm a douchebag, something like that. Boom. Changes it. I'm a lot more okay with this fight.
Right.
So if they do one of those two things.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, for this episode, that is a minor gripe. And that's one of my pretty much only gripes is that scene just kind of felt a little pushed. But that could have been an editing thing too, though. There could have been more to it. You never know.
Yeah.
So I'm moving on. Now, the only technical problem is that Easy throws a right hook and smokes this cop, right?
Yep.
Just like that.
And all the blood
end up on the face of the slot machine on his left side, which is not possible.
It's not going to work. Like, it goes against all laws of physics.
I was like, yeah,
that needs to be going with
if
the
anything,
momentum.
It should have been shot against the camera lens. So like, oh, in my face, like the shot. So to me, that was a huge blunder.
Yes,
huge.
Because that was one of the things I was like, that just doesn't quite look right.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Unless he whipped his hand back, which he didn't, because he followed through like any good punch would be. It's just not possible that he ended up blood on that side or on that thing. I think that was put in for effect, and I'm like, you're an idiot. Whoever decided that was the way to be effect, because it just doesn't match.
And I like that Easy has that one punch capability. Because he definitely looks like he can do it, and that cop was not necessarily the most intimidating of people.
Right. Now, here's the thing. You're surrounded by 5 or 6 cops. What on earth? Why did they just pick him up and walk him away? Why wasn't there more to it?
You're still, because you're not on your territory or anything. Like Native American grounds, they have their own police officers. Your jurisdiction holds no weight.
Yeah, but even so,
you're going against a biker gang.
I give you that.
You're all liquored up. You're seeing them still being sober. I was okay with it.
Okay, I can live with that. All right, so while they're outside, Angel again walks away from the group and goes and meets. Becoming a habit forming. Getting separate phone calls, separate this, separate that. All right, so he meets this guy. God, I can't remember what his name was.
Jimmy.
This is Jimmy.
Yeah.
And he's telling him that, basically this is the guy he's going to sell the 6 keys to finance
the rebellion, I guess.
Yeah, the rebellion.
What is that, 180,000, I think?
Well, he said he wanted 30, yeah. So that's a big cash deal.
And what do we think happened to these other 3 keys?
Well, they burned them in the fire.
Gotcha.
So that was to prove that point.
Well, I mean, that was a terrible decision on their part.
Well, I mean, it's only $90,000 in burnt merchandise.
God, like just fill it with flour or something.
Yeah, really,
like,
just burn the wrapper they were in.
Hey,
like put some flour in there. Dirty it up with some brown sugar.
a little something.
Rewrap it.
Oh God, yeah, they really did burn it. Which I guess that didn't sink into me when I was watching the video. I thought that they had just repurposed it. But no, we burnt $90,000.
$90,000 worth of
expensive message.
A very expensive message.
Alrighty.
So he agrees, and so he wants to get it at Vegas like that. So this whole little meeting, which is just basically to negotiate, product getting to the prisons. All that's fine. The Chinese are worked out there that hey, we're going to make sure we get your product. Now, I think Bishop spoke a touch much when he guarantees no more shipment errors.
Yes, that is something that you never need to do.
That was a huge red flag to me in this scene. Yes. I think they went ahead and just said, all right, viewers, here's our first problem coming up.
Bishop is going to be in trouble because
he shot his mouth off,
Now, is it going to be an Angel mishap that is what does this, or is it just going to be something else, you think?
I think it's just business. Something happens.
I mean, you're transporting drugs.
The streets, the word is out that you've been ripped off once. You can make another deal.
Exactly.
So all that's fine. Everybody agrees. 2% hike up. This, that, so on. Da 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 da.
Love Bishop's negotiating skills.
Yeah,
the man is a smooth talker.
He's on point.
Hold a room, and he doesn't allow for a counterpoint. Like he doesn't start off.
Well, he goes ahead and gives you a fair offer right up front. In negotiation,
and like he already knows what he's like. So like this is happening in the prison. I feel like probably just upping your percentage is going to quiet that down a good bit.
Yeah, right. That'll quash all that.
Yeah, okay. Well, how about 2%? Yeah. And I really wanted him to give something else to the Chinese, be like, and another 3 kilos on top as something they just get there. Here's your 12 kilos. Pay us.
Right. Well, I don't think the Chinese were in a big bind. They were just trying to make sure that they could have their faith in what was coming anymore.
I would agree with that.
And so, no idea, but he's like, hey, did I hear something about a single malt and da-da-da-da-da?
Yep.
So he pulls this beautiful bottle of scotch out. And
which I didn't understand the significance of it at the point and everything.
I didn't either. Like, why are we showing a scene of them celebrating with scotch?
Yeah. No one.
And then the basket with a 1911 in it. I was like, okay, now it's starting to make a little more sense. This is something up.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I still have no idea who's about to get shot.
I didn't know who the target was.
I didn't have a clue.
When they greased Jimmy.
Woo!
I mean, like, everybody's face. This is like, so far, the one thing that's consistent, there's always a scene where every Mayan's like, holy shit.
Like, that just happened. How are we this blindsided?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's every episode.
Yes.
I mean, either it's guy losing his arm, everybody's like, oh shit, or watching somebody get cooked with grease, oh shit, and now I get to watch somebody get greased.
Right in front of me.
45 to the face.
And then, like Bishop said, it wasn't a done deal or anything, but the looks on all of your faces made it worthwhile. And I was like, yeah, their faces definitely.
Well, it brought up a good point because Bishop and Alvarez are shown, as the viewer, we're being shown that they're actually considering there could be somebody in the MC who is doing information.
Not even necessarily Bishop. It was just Alvarez, really, because when they were leaving.
But he has a conversation and they agree. I mean, think about it. If Bishop didn't think that at all, he might look and go, not my crew.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he would immediately defend that. And so, but no, he's actually like, okay, we can do this, that, or so on.
Because he was just like, just keep it between us for a little bit. Let's see how this plays out.
Exactly. So, I mean, to me, that's big. And
yeah, I'm starting to realize just how much Bishop is like Clay. You know, I mean, he's a lot smarter than I was initially giving him credit for and everything. Because they kind of painted him as I'm kind of already halfway out and everything. No, that's not the case.
No, they're doing it right. Like I said, I think the reason Jake thought so highly of this episode, and just like I did, is that they showed a lot for each of the characters that made them much more likable and made you understand their motivations and premises for the show so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting the development that we wanted. Like we said at the beginning of the episode and everything, we have all of these just huge generalizations. It was like, man, this guy's not going to be what we need him to be. He's going to be terrible and everything. But as it slowly builds itself, we're like, oh, he's not anything like I initially thought he was.
Right.
And part of that's we have to make these conclusions and everything at the beginning.
Exactly.
And we're happy to be proven wrong with them. And Bishop is one of the characters I'm most happy to be proven wrong with, because I said last week, I don't think he's going to make it to even the mid-season.
Well, I think quite differently.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jake was like, Bishop's gone. You're like, I don't know, guys. He's going to hang around for a while. I'm starting to lean towards you now.
Yeah, I really feel so.
I can see him being on 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, just one episode, and that changes a lot.
The whole perspective. So that's kind of the episode. What kind of predictions do you think we're going to go from here? You know, previews show some things, but where do you think they're going to go in direction on this?
I really think we're going to get a lot of DEA stuff to try to fish that out and stuff, because that's the one side we haven't really been shown too much of. So I think it's going to be a little bit more Galindo and everything. You know, we're going to get him and Emily either making or breaking it pretty soon. I know I have to make another one of these bold predictions or something, but when you only have 10 episodes and you have a lot to smush into it, you're doing a lot of big things all at once. And I think the DEA is going to make that push on Galindo and Emily to kind of break them up with Easy.
Right.
And I think that's what's going to be happening a lot in the next episode or two.
I think the next episode is going to be pretty heavy on the rebels scrambling, because now we realize there's a mole, as well as that money they were counting on for those keys is not going to be there either.
True.
And so I feel like you're going to see Angel or maybe some of the group make a mistake. I can see that coming up, where maybe they show some cards they shouldn't, or it forces a hand or a decision.
Break in case of emergency or
something.
You know, you have to end up selling these drugs to the wrong person.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to have a casualty. I think the mole is going to cause a problem, or we're going to see more development of that.
Well, I mean, like the mole's it's what, Coco, Angel, and I don't remember who the third guy is.
It's the bigger bald-headed guy. I don't know his name, but
so I mean, the only one out of those 3 I think we can lose is the bigger guy. But
possible. Well, here's the thing: is that do you honestly see the rebellion moving, being successful down the road?
Yes, I don't see any reason to bring them in if they're not successful.
See, to me, I think it's the opposite. I think Sutter brings in something that's going to tear your heart out when it fails.
Okay.
Think about it. I mean, that's what he does. You know
I mean, no, it's true. And I mean, he gets rid of Angel, theoretically. Like, I mean, I know you don't have to kill Angel in this instance or anything, but
no, to me, like if you're comparing Sons of Anarchy, of course, always there's never the light at the end of the tunnel. It's always making the best of a bad situation. That's what the show is. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Oh, we only lost 6 people instead of 15.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay.
We're going to build a bike to commemorate them. Moving on. Beer. So.
Oh, you died by a quick bullet to the head instead of torture. Congratulations.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's just that simple, but I just feel like, you got to think about it. What is something that's going to pull at heartstrings that would tear the viewer up to see it fold
and
or
it would
fail,
be the rebels.
It's either your turncoats failing or the rebels failing or significant things like that. To me, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It's just like he said in the opening, and part of this is that there may be kids there, but drop them anyway.
Oh my heart dropped as soon as you said that.
what is to prevent Sutter from having a scene where they come in and just start shooting and you see kids start falling?
FX. That is the only thing that has prevented it.
Right.
Like, this is on HBO or something?
You might not see the kids actually taking bullets, but you might see this guy spray, and then you cut scene and there's 4 kids on the ground.
I mean, we've already seen a kid burnt to a crisp. So, I mean we're not that far off from seeing...
I'm just saying, you want to talk about tearing tearing your heart out.
Especially after we had the little girl talk to the little boy and just be like, no, Mom, we need to bring him. He needs to be with his family. He is. They're right there. Yeah. I was like, oh my, like, how did you bring this into the show?
So I think, I'm just saying, it's another bold prediction is that,
look, I mean,
I see the rebellion doing maybe some good things, but the reality of it is, I see major casualty.
So, I mean, that means we have to give them 1 or 2 quick battles, you know, and then I'd be like, okay, we think we're winning, and then sweet.
Again, just like Sons of Anarchy is that, you know, they win battles, but not necessarily the war and all within one swoop. So,
and it's hard to overtake a cartel. I mean, Galindo.
It's a cartel.
Yeah.
Just using the word cartel is enough to say chances are they have unlimited resource.
Damn near close to it. Yeah,
you have kids. We have a kids and a short food supply.
Yes, like, we're counting rice like we're on Survivor. So like, I'm a little worried.
I mean, the only thing missing, oh my god, was the host saying the next immunity challenge is
who can hold the bullet the longest.
That's right. You know, who knocks the piñata down first wins. You know, the other one gets the spike. You know,
we're having a fire building challenge today, and you're covered in gasoline.
So, I mean, cartel style. But anyway, that's what I'm getting at. Is that,
God, like, I hate that you're probably right. Like, I mean, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. And like, that's not good.
Hey, man, it is what it is, man. Guys, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that this is going to have heartache and depression and outrage because terrible things happen before the sunshine comes, or is it going to be something where, you know, it's not what you expect and completely the opposite, you know, and, you know, who knows? I mean, if you have a theory, a thought, anything, do not hesitate to send us a message. We'll probably even pimp it on the show for the next time we do predictions.
Absolutely. I mean, we love bringing your opinions into the show.
Yeah,
and
don't forget.
That's what it's about.
We got email, we got Twitter, we got Facebook.
BleedTV Podcast at Gmail. You can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter
and
BleedTV
Instagram, all that stuff. We're all there, man. Don't hesitate. Let us know what you're thinking and thoughts and stuff. But, man, I think we covered up pretty good. What do you do?
Absolutely.
Guys, as always, we appreciate you listening. Hey, do us a favor. Tell your friends. If you enjoy what you're listening to, tell people to give us a like. If you got a chance, go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. It bumps us up in the search engine, making it where we can promote the show more, thus making your show more popular, thus meaning it stays on television longer. So it's around, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful catch-22. You help us, we help the show helps us.
There you go.
Shout out to Tori,
and we share your content, you know.
And shout out to Tori for the great review she gave us on Facebook and everything.
Absolutely.
Like, truly touching, unexpected.
You know, somebody else who was pimping us on the other day, was on one of the groups, was Kiana Rose. So she does this very well.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you as well. So, so like I said, guys, we like to give back to fans. But other than that, we're going to call it a night, and we look forward to next week. So this is BleedTV, and I'm Zach.
And I'm Cash.
We'll see y'all then.